God. Oh,
My
good to know. Good to know.
Me.
My leg!
I hope this is being streamed right now. Otherwise, this is being totally wasted.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, this is being streamed. Fabulous. Great.
Hey, Twitch chat.
Hi.
And we're all fired. Everybody's fired.
We're all fired.
Yeah, you're fired, and you're fired, and you're all okay. And you're fired.
Me?
Oh.
And you're all fired.
I just read chat. Somebody said Mike Kachowski, and I am dying. Oh, I wish I had like fucking chat on my hand. Oh.
Wait, how are you?
Okay,
Is it Unzi Twitch? Can I see chat?
One of your
It's on Twitch,
characters.
yeah, we're on Twitch.
Yes.
Oh my god.
One of your characters now has Kachow in their name. Who is it and why? Subaru Kachowski.
Oh my god. Legacy just got one name, but I always call him Legacy B-Star. So he's Legacy
Yes,
B-Star.
that's what I called him.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Issa Kachow.
Hello, my name is Legacy B-Star.
I'm my name
Hey,
is
team, if
Legacy
possible,
B-Star.
come up closer to the
We are
stage. You're
now
really
going
far
to
away from
start.
the camera right now.
Oh, we're starting.
We're gonna start, everybody. Woo! Oh my god.
Wow, usually people pay me to stop.
Good evening, Furality. We really apologize for the huge delay. We are so unbelievably popular that we crashed VR chat for like the third time this weekend. So
Yeah.
we did it. We hit our milestone.
All right, now we need to do
So-
this at a real convention in the future. We need to get it so
Crash the
popular
con.
that the whole convention crashes.
Everybody
Yes,
starts
And we all die.
Thank you.
Great idea.
Thank you so much for bearing with us through the technical difficulties. And we are going to move straight into it. Very, very little delay. So we have ourselves Sean Chiplock.
Hello.
I'm going to absolutely pronounce your name wrong for the 11th time.
You wouldn't be the
Mongolian.
first. That's the one. Mongolian.
Mongolian.
Sweet.
He does throat singing.
Alright, whatever.
And Ben Diskin.
Mongillo.
And I'll let y'all take it from here.
Okay,
Oh
cool.
God.
Oh,
we
God.
started
I know.
Sean.
right.
You're going
Wait,
first, Sean. You
are
tell
we
us.
going? Are we
You're
going?
up.
Are we going
You're going
manga or
first.
western? Are we going manga or western? Right to
Oh
left or
my
left to
God.
right?
What are we
Starting with
doing?
you.
From the audience
Starting with
perspective,
you.
manga. You're going. Go.
Okay,
talk.
all right. Hello, everybody. My name is Sean Chiplock. I also go by Sonic Mega. I'm the only one who doesn't have full body tracking, so don't look at me. Just enjoy my personality. I voice Rivali and Teba and the Great Deku Tree in Breath of the Wild. Kai Kisk in Guilty Gear Strive, Mishima Yuki in Persona 5, and I've been at various furry conventions for several years. Yes, absolutely. Wait, upstage? Upstage, yes.
Yes. Move closer to the camera if you can. This is
My
the voice in your
theater
head.
training is worn off. But yeah, I'm just really, I'm a huge fan of the voiceover industry because it's given me all these chances to play characters that aren't possible in the real world, and I'm super grateful to get to be with all these cool people.
Woo!
Joe.
You're
A
next,
little bit
Casey.
closer.
You're next, Casey.
That's.
Casey, go.
Oh,
Casey!
Is it it's my turn? Hello?
Yes!
Casey, you're lying.
Hello?
Let's go, Mongolian!
Okay. Line? Okay. Hi, guys. What's up? My name is Casey Mongillo. I, too, am a voice actor. Isn't that great? I'm most probably known as Scorebunny in Pokemon Journeys, as well as Raboot in Cinderace, as well as Raichu. And,
Oh, that's so cool.
You're right.
yeah,
dude,
that's probably
neat.
my most. Yeah, I mean, it's the most like kind of animal furry kind of adjacent thing that you guys would probably care most about. But I'm also in Neon Genesis
So-
Evangelion as Shinji Ikari, the Netflix dub.
So when you're done recording, they have to
and,
write you a paycheck?
yes,
Ah,
Ha ha
how dare.
yes.
Also, excellent.
Titus laugh.
I love it. And that's basically it. There's not much to me. That's basically it. Moving on to this one.
Hello. My name is Jonah Scott, and I play characters that are way cooler than I am. I voice I voice Legacy and Beastars, Joe in Skate the Infinity, Aiden Caldwell in the upcoming Dying Light 2. Let's see who else. Sniper Mask in Netflix's High Rise Invasion. And the list goes on. But
Wait, are you
yeah,
the one who shoots me in the head in High Rise?
Oh yeah, I got the sniper. I'm the guy. Are you the one that walks through the hall?
I don't know. I'm on a rooftop, and then someone snipes me when I'm like.
That
trying
sounds like
to-
something he would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
so
yeah.
glad that you ended my life. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm also in Trails of Cold Steel with Sean.
Yeah!
With Randolph or Landolph or Randy Orlando. He's everyone's favorite redhead. Great, my favorite redhead at least. All right, Ben.
Hello, hi, I'm Ben Diskin. I voice Haida in Agretzko. I voice Jack in Beastars. This way, here, there we go. Now, yay. Hey, there it is. That's better. Nice. I voice Shiro Ogami in BNA and in just a whole bunch of anime and video games and stuff. And honestly, I never remember any of it, so if you look me up on the internet, you have a better idea
Oh
than
my
what I know.
Yep.
These
So,
gesticulations are so on brand for Jack. It's like so in character.
And that's it. That's
guess-
us.
I think we're taking questions.
us.
Is that what this is?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You look very white, Cheeto.
Why are you? Oh, dang it! Wow. I can't hold on to this. Anyway. Yes.
All right, so we have a question from our Discord. This is a question
Ooh.
for everyone.
Did
What
they
was
send
your
a
most
PayPal payment?
enjoyable? We're working on it. A question for everyone. What was your most enjoyable roles that they really allowed you to let loose on your character, and why?
You
Gonna
start,
do
Haida.
Sean first.
No.
Okay, all right.
No,
we'll go
don't.
reverse
No.
order.
Reverse order. Let's go.
Thanks. Wow, thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Yeah, they're just something that I got to cut loose on. Oh boy, come back to me. Come back to me,
All right.
Okay.
Sean.
All right.
Go.
No, Legacy.
Screw it.
Let's go, Randolph or Landolph.
All right. Okay,
Mommy,
so
Daddy, stop fighting!
Go
a
ask
role
your
that I really just got
stepmother.
to like let loose with is probably Legoshi because I don't have a very anime voice, as you can tell. It's very like deep and like dad like. So it does fit Legoshi, but because of that, I'm often cast in roles that require a lot of like nuance and subtle like cinematic expression, and Legoshi has that in spades. And I really got to just, I'm gonna be very honest. I really got to chew the scenery so hard as Legoshi, and like almost it felt like I was overacting, but that's exactly what you have to do for anime and animation. And I really like. I mean, he goes feral like 8 times, and I do all those noises. Like I snarl, I growl, I yell, I scream, I gnash my teeth, and I take big old sips of water, make it sound nice and bloody and gross, and it's fantastic. So yeah.
But
so
what about when
Legacy's-
you're not playing Overwatch?
Hey, that's only when I'm playing McCree, and I know I'm missing shots that I like 100% would be able to hit otherwise. But it's just like it's an off day or something. It's like I always if negative praise of yourself. No, don't. No, it's fine. But yeah, Legoshi's my favorite. He's the bee's knees right now.
You also get to punch
Hell yeah.
deer without getting a fine from the wildlife reserve.
Also,
Oh yeah.
super quick. Take 3 super big steps straight forward.
Okay, cool. We have to go into the light.
Sweet.
Maybe too many.
Oh,
Too many?
how about here?
Step away from the light.
Right there. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Hello?
All right, you're in frame.
There we go.
Your turn, Casey.
Oh. Oh.
Which
well,
one lets you let loose and rip it?
And Score Bunny for sure. I got to be crazy
Yeah?
in that. And doing Score Bunny in Pokemon, there's no real set thing to say. It's pretty much like you can only say, the character name, Score Bunny, and you have to fill up a certain time in the frame. So they're just like, okay, you have from here to here, go crazy. So every time
Oh,
I have a
shoot.
cue, I just go totally nuts with it, and I'm just like,
You just get
I
to
don't
do
know, that
whatever.
was
That's awesome.
insane.
So
Yeah, it was
they don't
insane random.
write out exactly the syllables
No.
you say. You just get to make
nope,
it up.
I
Oh,
just
that's
do
so
it. Yeah,
cool.
I make up
fucking
everything I
cool.
do.
Nice.
As long as there's intent behind it. And it's funny because in the beginning when I first started out, my director Lisa was like, "Was there intent behind that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then sometimes
Was
I
there
would like,
intent
not
behind
have
that?
intent. And she'd be like,
Were you acting on
"There's
that
no
one?
intent behind that score bond. There was. What was the intent behind that?" I'm like, I just said the line to see if you catch it, and you caught it. Okay, let's do it for real this
Damn.
time. And like, okay, and she's got such an ear for this stuff. But yeah,
She's
but
good
you
for
get
so
to
long.
just go completely insane with that and have a lot of fun with it, and you make it yours. And the same goes
Hey,
for
Casey. Oh, go ahead.
Crab
Go
Boots,
ahead.
Cinderace, and Raichu too. What's that?
Well, if I wanted to own your voice as a score bunny, is there a way that I could do that?
Right.
If you wanted to
Oh, yeah.
own my voice as a score bunny, if you guys like plushies, if you guys like toys and stuff,
I feel like that might be a kind of a dumb question for this crowd. I'm just saying. I feel like plenty of people like
do you
that.
guys like
do you guys like
plushies by
furry things?
chance? Stuffed animals?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, nobody
you can
likes
have
that
a
here. No.
Talking
I'm leaving.
plushie
See you later.
with me stuck inside the plushie. Free me. Free
Free
me.
him.
Please.
Hey, did you guys know Nathaniel over there made the free him meme from like Tumblr where Pikachu's stuck in a bouncy ball? He made that's him.
I'm a meme lord. Hi guys, Baba Booey.
Baba
No, it's score bunny.
Dab?
Score bunny.
Yeah, it's Score
Not-
Bunny. Is that a new Pokemon, Baba Booey?
Evolves into Babadook. Listen, we had to bring him up. It's Gay Pride
It's
Month.
Pride Month. Yeah, I think. Jinx.
Yeah, the Babadook is a gay icon.
Buy your Babadook at Build-A-Bear today.
All right, Sean, I think it's your turn.
Oh my god. Yeah, come on, Sean.
It's not a question
Buy
of which
score bunny
roles
at
have...
Build-A-Bear. It's dope.
It's not a
Now to
question
you.
of which roles have let me go loose. It's which roles have reined me in the most, to be perfectly honest. So I really enjoyed being Rivali specifically in Age of Calamity, because in Breath of the Wild, he was a lot more nuanced, he was a lot more subtle, but you really got to see the flair of Rivali shine through when he's mowing down like hundreds of troops in a single attack and making terrible puns like cool down before dropping an ice block on them. Screw you, Rivali, that's so cheesy. But the one I'm most proud of, that I knew was going to take me to the extreme ends of emotion, was definitely Subaru Natsuki. I know it seems like a cop-out answer because he's a lead role, but, like, it's the only role I've ever had where before they cast me, they took me aside and said, we want you to be aware of how vocally stressful this is going to be, and that you're going to be able to, stay on top of it and consistently do it and not like delay the schedule. And I wasn't even scared. I was like, yeah, put me in, coach, I can do it. And there's been so many cases where people were like, how did you pull that off? How much did that hurt your throat? And I knew it was going to hurt, but I was so excited and so eager to showcase what I could do that it didn't really scare me. Case in point, I'll only bring up the one example. A lot of people don't know that in season 2, that whole like 45-second scene where Subaru like gets parts of his body bitten off and then he's eaten alive by the rabbits, that all happened in one take. There was no second take of that. So I'm just really proud of that because like
Yeah, dude, I have a similar story. When Legoshi kicks the shit out of Bill. Spoilers. If you haven't seen this first season, go watch it. That was all one take. We just let it go. And at the end of it, Bob, the director, was like, "Okay, I think we got it."
It was kind of the same thing with me and Ava and Ben. You were there when I was doing some of that stuff.
I watched them record Ava.
Yeah.
and
I had never seen this guy cry before. And he came up,
that was like
he had tears in his eyes. And he gave me a
it was like
big
watching
ass
an
hug, and I'm
actual
like,
trauma like on stage. It was just like
And
Yeah,
Ben, even for
and
you, like when
one
you
long
had
take.
to act like you struggled to talk to women, they didn't need a second take for that either.
No, of course not. No, one take throughout the entire show. This is just all.
Look.
No. I mean, I can't even get mad. It's very true.
But there were the occasional pickups. Sometimes I sounded a little too,
Shrieky.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, Casey.
But
It
no.
was too good. We need you to be worse.
We need you to suck more. Can you do that? It's gonna cost you extra.
We need you to be pathetic and easily hateable. Just pretend you're Sean.
Let me get into character. Let me channel Sean. No! Shut your face. Only Sean can make fun of Sean.
Yeah.
All right.
None of
Anyway,
you say
another question
anything.
for
He's
you
a good
guys.
boy.
Okay, we got another question.
All right.
Sure.
This is a basic one that you guys get asked plenty of times, but it's one that we might as well get out of the way. What inspired to get all you guys into voice acting, and what continues to inspire you to be a voice actor?
May I go first on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I should go first. Money.
Okay.
Just kidding. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. If you actually know anything about voiceover, you know that ain't true.
he can't. Well, he already took my answer, so I have to come up with a new one.
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
Neopets, Adult Swim, and Full Metal Alchemist. Because I was no, for real. I used to stay up super late because I hated school and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and everyone was pressuring me to get into college. And I would always stay up and listen to Adult Swim in the background while I did my dailies on Neopets because I was in Michigan, so it was like 3 in the morning when the servers reset. And one evening, I just ended up on the Adult Swim website and I saw a behind-the-scenes video of Troy Baker. That's right, the man of anime, Troy Baker, when he was recording for Abel Nightroad in Trinity Blood. And it showed me him in the booth at the same time that he was dubbing, and it showed another screen of the clip being dubbed. And that was the first time that I saw someone talking at the same time a character's lips were moving. And I didn't know what the hell I was looking at the time, but it just looked so... Just the concept of, like, a human being of myself instantly becoming that character at the same time that they were talking was enrapturing to me. I just wanted, it gripped me and I wanted to be a part of it. And what has kept me so passionate is, you know, like I joked about at the beginning of this panel, there are so many opportunities. Like Casey is a rabbit. He is a rabbit that gets
He's a
trained
rabbit.
by trainers, and he has a plush animal. You know, like Ben gets to play like an office hyena. Joe gets to play like this epic Reaper dude with like a giant gun axe and like all these other characters. And it's these things that like if we tried to be this in real life, we'd probably end up behind bars. But instead, in voice acting, we get paid for it. And it's not about the money, but it's just the idea that we can have all these crazy adventures, have all these creative endeavors that like embrace the furry fandom as a core aspect and make it our careers. And I just really, really enjoy. Oh my God.
Look at his butt.
This is
Do you like my butt?
This is my boyfriend now. I call dibs. I call dibs.
Casey's caked up.
No.
All right. Here's where I got. All right, I changed my answer. I got into voice acting so that one day I could grab Casey's bunny butt live at panel. All right, go on.
Go, man, go! Go, man, go! Oh, wait, you can't. You're not.
No,
you're a
not
desktop.
Bonnie.
Never mind.
Bunny.
Where am I?
Get it?
I'm turned around.
You're like Justin Hops.
Justin Hops, not Judy.
Justin Hobbs. Wow.
Justin Hops.
Oh,
Jude
my lord,
Hobbs.
time to be gay.
Jude Hops.
Hello.
Casey, it's your turn.
Your turn, Casey.
What do I do?
Come on.
What am I doing?
Spanks your butt. Go on. Go up.
Wait, what am I doing? Hold on. What is my avatar doing? Hold on.
You're explaining how you got into VO.
All right, one sec. My avatar just ate crap.
Okay, Legoshi, how'd you get into VO?
Do I look normal? Is this
You look-
okay?
You look fine.
Yeah, you look fine.
Normal,
Yeah.
good?
You're fine. You're fine. You
Okay,
just want us to stare at your butt. Just stop lying to us.
Anyway.
Wow, there it is.
So anyway, yeah, it was kind of similar to Sean's story. We're like same kind of age group, watching Adult Swim as kids and stuff, and watching, you know, Full Metal Alchemist. For me, it was like FMA, Fully Cooley had such a cool dub, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Wonder what it would be like to do that. Watch a little bit of Outlaw Star. It's pretty much that kind of thing, which was like, people do this? Real human beings do this? And I don't know how old I was. I was probably like, I don't know, 13? Something like that. And I'm like, man, that'd be so cool if we got to do this one day. And yeah, I always just kept my eyes open for a way, like, maybe that'd be kind of cool to do one day. And then I saw some behind the scenes things that were similar to that. And I don't know, I just kind of got interested and did as much research as I could back then. And, you know, I was listening to even Ben in Codename Kids Next Door.
Oh, yeah.
And Tony Hawk's Underground, which I played way too much of as a kid and still do to this day.
It took me until like 2 years ago to realize that was Ben.
Dude.
Jonah, I love the self-control that you still have not recreated that scene or that section of episode 1 with Casey right now.
Not yet.
No.
As I keep moving closer, you guys keep scooting back.
Oh, yeah.
you
Oh, we
dorks.
keep scooting back.
Sorry, I'm gay. I don't know what I'm doing.
We're
Crowd
migrating.
mentality.
It's because Casey
Which
keeps
carrot?
backing that ass up.
yeah.
Nom nom.
I gotta stand up to back it up.
Carry anyone?
Just too much
now,
play
oh God, this is awkward. It's
Sorry,
like
I don't care at all for that.
Casey's the one on the couch, and we're all standing behind him.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I'm in danger. I'm in danger.
Oh, wait. Take a few steps
Casey.
to the left.
Hey Casey,
To
you
the
want to
left?
do voiceover role?
That way.
Yeah.
There we
What's
go.
that?
There you go. There you go.
All right.
Wait, what was
All
the
right, you
question?
go, Jonah. How you got into voiceover?
Oh, yeah,
what keeps you
Jonah.
going?
Okay. I've told the story a lot, but like it started when I was like I was a stage actor for like over a decade, and I did like college musical theater, that kind of thing. I was a theater kid, and I was in my dorm at one point playing Titanfall, and I played video games my entire life, and I was just a video game guy, and I always liked the performances in the games, but it never occurred to me that that's an actor. It was just like, I don't know how they get these people. I don't know how this whole industry works. I have no idea how any of this stuff works. But I was playing through Titanfall, and it is no secret that I am very inspired by Matthew Mercer, who plays the main character in Titanfall, Jack Cooper. And my girlfriend at the time was sitting on my dorm bed and was like, "Hey, you kind of sound like that guy." And I'm like, "Really? Okay." But I was just like enthralled in the story. I wasn't comparing anything. And after that, I was listening, and I'm like, okay, people get paid to do this? Oh, okay. So I spent the next like year of college, whenever I would get back from classes, I would go on the internet, and I would go on my blog, and I would just type up random script shit and read it into a microphone and edit it and make it sound good, and then put it on the internet. And people liked that. And then I found some auditions, and then I did that, and I was, I made more money than I did working at the deli that I worked at. So at one point, somebody was like, "You should try and do this for a living," and I'm like, "Cool. Where would I do that?" So I moved to LA. I had $200 in a suitcase, and I slept on Jalen Castell's floor for a year. And
Damn.
here we are. The funniest thing is, like, I was inspired by that first person video game protagonist kind of shtick, with Matt and the people like Troy and Roger, and now I get to do that for real, like for real. It's not a joke anymore. Like I feel like I oopsed myself into this whole situation sometimes, but like
No,
you can do it.
How did
Nah.
I get
You
here?
started-
Uh-oh,
I can
oops.
do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
Jonah B Star
Facts,
started
though.
at the bottom, now he's atop.
Wow.
Hey.
Thanks. Keeping it nice and clean.
Words.
Super
Words
PG.
were ne'er spoken. Anyway, your turn, buddy.
Oh,
And you, Mr.
yeah. Oh, hi.
Winning Ben Diskin.
Yeah, God, son of a them's fighting words. Yeah, I got into this business because I didn't have a choice. My parents were both actors, and they said, "Hey, you kid who's still in the womb, you are going to be an actor." And their agency said, "We want to represent your kid before he pops out of you." And my mom said,
crap.
"Okay." So I had an agent technically before I was born. So I've literally been doing this my entire existence, and technically even before then.
If I recall, they
yeah.
had to
Born with
lure
a
you
sack
out of the womb. They had to lure you out of the
Yes,
womb with an
with a
Emmy before you
microphone.
leave.
Kid,
With a mic.
come on. You got it. Come on.
You got it.
Come on. Yeah. So yeah, that was my yeah. I do this just because I love it. It's ridiculous. Look at what we get to do. We get to be cartoon characters, and it makes people happy, and it makes me happy. So yeah, that's my motivation. Is very simply, I really enjoy my job. It doesn't get more complex than that. That's basically what it
You're
is.
damn right. We did it. We answered another question.
We answered a
Right.
question,
I
everybody.
want you guys. I want you guys to know
we have currently answered 2 questions in 20 minutes.
We're making good time. Making good time.
It's about on par for anime dubbing rates.
Yeah.
All right, you got another one to ask from the group?
No, that's it.
Sure,
Just
yeah.
2.
Oh, okay. Third
Yeah,
question.
that's it,
Let's see
guys.
if we can make
Well,
it.
everybody, see you later.
panel.
Bye.
Well, thanks
Okay,
so much.
so here's another one for all of you guys. So for your most well-known characters, were you expecting the impact that they were going to have on the furry community and the attention that you guys received from it?
You
Where
could
did you come from? What?
I was
where did
whisked
you
away
go?
over there for some reason. I don't know what happened. Sorry.
Neat.
I
Sure.
yeeted-
VR chat is
Okay.
a glitch-free game.
Sure, here, I'll share it for you guys. When you voiced your most well-known characters, were you expecting the impact they would have on the furry community and the attention that you would receive from it?
I'll go first. I will say, no, I was not expecting it because most of the shows that I really, really like, nobody else seems to like or really care about. And I was like, oh man, I really love Agretzko. It's so cute. It's so funny. It's so clever. And I'm like, nobody's going to like this, but I like it. And then people actually wound up really liking the show. So I'm like, oh my God, yes, thank you, finally. So yeah. Basically, that's, was not expecting it. Happy that people enjoyed it. Oh, by the way, season 4, we are confirmed. So, season 4.
Oh my God! 4 seasons. Let's go.
Yes.
That's insane.
Heck yeah.
My turn?
Mr. B-Star.
Yeah, go. Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead. Legacy B-Star.
So I want to put everything in perspective for everybody listening right now. I have been doing this for about 2 years. Like, full on professionally, okay? Legoshi is the first protagonist I ever had, and I almost pissed my pants when I heard that I got cast, because I didn't think there was not a snowball's chance in hell, because I was so new and so fresh, but Netflix liked my voice. I knew I've known Nathaniel for almost 10 years at this point.
Dang.
And he is a what I like to call a gigafurry. And
Technically, I'm a microfurry.
What?
Technically you're a microfurry, but anyway. Yeah, I went to him and I said, "Hey, dude, I voiced the wolf in Beastars," and he's like, "Wait, what? Really?" And he's like, "You don't understand. You do not get it.
Yeah.
I know you do not understand how big of a deal this is for you." And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he spent like 10 minutes trying to explain basically furry fandom to me. And I mean, the rest is history. No, I did not expect. I knew it was like, oh, this guy's he's a main character in a Netflix show. You know, I was just like, okay, that's pretty fucking pog. But no, I had no idea the impact that this would have, and it literally changed my life. This is the trajectory that I have in my life is completely different because I booked this character and this meme, this boy, this sad excuse for a wolf. Anyway, next.
Don't you talk about my best friend that way.
Yeah.
What about you, Casey?
How has the furry character
Need a
Car
drink.
Cat impacted your life?
How's Shinji Ikari?
Shinji Ikari from Neon Genesis Evangelion has brought forth many furry fans, and I'm lying. But Square Bunny, doing a lot of stuff in Pokemon oddly has. I didn't expect that. And they draw a lot of cute fan art, and it's the craziest thing because everybody is so good at art, and I can't even draw a stick figure. But everybody who's a furry can just draw really, really well. It's just how it goes.
You're all so
And they're
talented.
like, hey, I drew Square Bunny, and I draw a humanized Square Bunny, and I drew like this and that, and I'm like, how are you doing this? It's so good. And I, got more and more people sending me stuff. I'm like, you guys are all like furries. You guys are awesome. Furries are cool. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I
That's
could
kind of
touch
how
on.
I was diving into the whole furries are cool. Yeah, you guys are cool. Here I come.
One of us.
Yeah. That's pretty
So,
much it for me.
yeah.
What about you,
So
Sean?
my answer is a little bit different. It might be wholesome and heartwarming, but it's not what you guys expect. So, know, I've been around. I've followed Nintendo. I know how people reacted to Falco and Amelia from Animal Crossing and Cass. So I knew right off the bat that Rivali and Teba were going to be popular. But because I was kind of prepared for that, it didn't really take me by surprise. Obviously it was a voiced Zelda game, and I think a lot more people were entranced with the idea that there was a Zelda game that had full voiceover, or major voiceover for the first time. But not a lot of people really know me as Rivali. Like I was a guest of honor at a furry convention last year, and nobody actually recognized me. They just knew it as the guy who voices Rivali. So I don't think it's actually impacted my life on a social aspect. However, way back, as a child, I distinctly remember my dad and I bonding over playing Ocarina of Time. And at one point, I'm going to get choked up repeating this. My dad is just marveling at this open world, as we're going across Hyrule Field for the first time. And he looks at the Nintendo 64 and he says, I cannot believe that they fit all of this onto a cartridge this small. Mind you, this was back during the Nintendo 64 era. So a cartridge this small. So imagine
size of a sandwich half.
Imagine when almost 25 years later, I get to show him a copy of Breath of the Wild and tell him, can you believe that they fit all of this on a cartridge this small?
Like
and that your son is voicing one of the main characters in it. And it was a full circle moment. I was paranoid that something was going to happen to my dad before the game came out, and I wasn't going to get to share that moment with him and say, hey, that game that you bonded with your son over is now a permanent part of his legacy, and you're responsible for that being able to happen, because when I first got into voiceover, you didn't chastise me. You might have gotten upset when I was loud and rambunctious, but you let me keep doing it because it was something important to me. Well, now I get to pay you back for it. And so that was really important to me, because now that's a permanent part of my life, and now that he knows, it's a permanent part of his too.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's awesome.
Sweet as heck, yo.
You're gonna make me cry over here. I'm like close to it.
I gave you some hearts, Sean.
I gave you all the
Thank you.
hearts.
You're welcome.
So
Don't worry, I'll be back to crack posting in like 2 minutes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Same.
all right. So this one is another group one, but two different subjects. So Jonah, Ben, and Sean, how was it to work on Jojo's? Parentheses.
All right, I'm
I
in
know,
front of
like,
get out of here,
asked
Casey.
that
I'm
a
in front of you
lot,
now.
But wait. And then for Casey and Ben, how was it to work on Miraculous?
Oh.
Okay. Well, JoJo's, for me, I played Joseph Joestar in part 2. It was great. It was probably one of the fastest anime that I've ever dubbed in my life. We had absolutely no time. Like, I don't know why we were under this massive time crunch. So I was recording about 8 hours a day, 3 days a week, which for any kind of yelling anime, that is a ton of yelling. And so I basically had to scream like a maniac for 8 hours a day to just blast through this whole thing and get it out in time. I still to this day don't know why. It was a rush, but it was really fun because, okay, you know what, to answer the question way back when, where it's like, what's something you could just cut loose for? Yeah, it would definitely be JoJo's part 2 for sure, because it was just nothing but nonstop screaming and going insane. But that's, it wouldn't be bizarre if it weren't that kind of a show. So that was pretty awesome.
Bringing it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back around.
Oh yeah, Jonah.
Okay. I am in JoJo's. I voice Formaggio, who is a villain. I don't want to say anything too spoilery, but he's pretty red shirty. But it's one of the first shows that I ever did. I think this was the first show that I got brought in to like test my mettle, I guess. I like to think I delivered, but I didn't. I was a fan of JoJo's, and I didn't understand how in your face everything is. Again, like I said, I'm from the school of cinematic, theatrical acting, where you have to pack a lot of nuance, even be able to project that nuance to an audience that's massive, even way bigger than like we got here too. And it was they just kept telling me you gotta get more, and like I got to a point where I was like screaming, and they're like, good, that's the voice, and I'm like, oh, what, really?
You had to Nicolas Cage it.
That's it, yeah, and I'm just screaming. It's like everything he did was like super. A few times I got to like go deep and sultry occasionally, but like a lot of it was just like my stand, like, and that's fun as hell. It is some of the most cathartic stuff you will ever do. you get out of the session with a towel around your across your shoulder, and you're like, damn, all right, I don't have to go to the gym today. Like, but yeah, that was my
True
experience
that.
working on JoJo's. It was a blast.
Okay, so for the part that I'm in, it's our experience on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I was in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure twice. The first one was as Toyohiro Kane Daiichi, and I think that was just more of a, they knew that I could fit for the role. It was a minor role. It was for like maybe 1 or 2 episodes. So, I don't mind that it wasn't really a notable one. So when I was brought on to voice Guido Mista in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. When I first came on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like Legoshi, or like Jonah said, I'm sorry, I just look at Legoshi, all I can think is Legoshi. Head empty, thoughts Legoshi. Anyway, I didn't quite understand what it was about, but the second time I came in, it was like, okay, I get it now. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is ADHD, the anime. And from that point on, I was immediately clocked in. Like, I understood the whole point of it was taking itself super seriously to the point of comedy, and that's why it was enjoyable. The whole pole of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is, let's see what absolutely ridiculous logic they pull out of their butts, and then make it somehow make perfect sense anyway, and that's the fun of it. And you could tell that everyone on the cast and everyone on the staff was having a blast. Like, when the writer gets to say, do you get that, you bobble-headed turd burglar, and have that show up on people's televisions, it's gonna be a good time for everyone.
Oh yeah,
so,
the writing in JoJo's is wild.
Very true.
It's amazing. They're like, what insult can I create that fits these lip flaps? So yeah, it was just a blast. I love that I got to be Guido Mista, someone who's very loyal, very resolute, which is kind of a typecast for me, but also someone who like embraces the gangsta style that he gets to inflict on his enemies and really lives up when he feels like he's the one in command. And it was just fun. I got to go ham, I got to go all out, and the more ridiculous I made him sound, the better it sounded for the dub, and it was just a good time all around.
Sweet. Well, here is one for. We'll mix up.
Oh wait,
the
what
big
about,
ones,
Wait,
random
about
ones.
Miraculous.
Miraculous.
Miraculous. Yes.
There's a part 2.
Skipped order.
Come on, you giga furry.
Freaking Gigas, man, right? Jeez.
You drafted it.
3 steps forward. We keep migrating, Chad.
All right. This is your line. This is your line. This little square right there.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's our mark. Don't miss it.
That's
all
your
right.
mark.
gotcha. Everybody stand right where I am. Everybody just blend into one person.
I'm sorry. I'm doing this with Joy-Cons. I keep drifting.
Yeah, Miraculous. It's a show. I don't know. It's a fun show. It's very energetic. It's one of these things that's kind of like a dub, in the idea that we see everything in English, actually, that's like a temp file, and then we have to dub over it, but put in our own spin on things. So it's a unique show, I would say. I don't really have like a ton of clever stories from that. But it's just a good show.
I didn't know that. About
I enjoyed
Miraculous.
working on it.
I didn't know you dubbed to temp English tracks. That's interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's like French temp tracks or something. So we have like different animators or different people doing storyboarding. Little voice. So sometimes in the middle of a sentence, you have 3 people talking, cutting into the sentence. It'll be like,
Oh my
"Hey,
God.
did you remember to go to the store?" And you're like, "What the heck was that?" And the first time I heard it, I laughed, and I'm like, "What was that?" And the director's like, "Oh, that's just the temp track." And I'm like, "Oh, you're serious?" "Oh, okay."
Interesting.
Oh, all right. So I'm like, "All right."
I've had to dub
for
over
timing, and then we'll just go
text-to-speech,
for
which
it.
is not
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Not
Oof.
fun.
But
That's horrible.
But it's a fun show to work on. It was one of the first things I worked on when I first moved to LA about around 4 years ago. And director's fun, had a lot of fun with it, and it was just a blast to work. It was the first time I ever got to use the Arrhythma Band, which is
Oh,
it's
I
kinda
love
like
doing that.
Voice
It's like
acting
it's a game.
karaoke.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's like voice acting karaoke. You see when it's coming on a scrolling like thing, and the words come, and then they highlight when you're supposed to say it. And for me, that's kind of nice when there's a whole lot of crap going on in a scene. You're like, who's saying
Casey
what's saying who? Yeah.
Casey
And
Oki.
it's like, oh, there's me, Casey Oki.
Ooh.
And you just do it, and you do your line. It's like, oh, cool, that was easy. And
Yeah.
pretty dope.
It's
It was a fun
fast,
show to
too.
do,
Jeez.
and I want to do more. Bring back Sandboy. Come on, hashtag bring back Sandboy. Miraculous. Trying to get it trending. But yeah, that's
All right,
my answer.
Now, Now me?
Yeah, I think
That's
now.
Yeah, go ahead. Come on, Mr. Giga. Let's go.
All right.
Wow.
All right. This one is for you, Jonah.
Oh, boy.
Do you as the voice of Legacy, do you enjoy bugs as much as Legacy? And if you're allowed to, can Legacy please say, "My beetle son, my tiny baby, I give you pats and feed you lettuce"?
Okay, first of all, my beetle son, my tiny little baby, I give you pats, I feed you lettuce.
Thanks.
I don't know where he is, he's gone. But yeah, I can totally say that. And I guess, they have to be, for me at least, I don't like tiny bugs. Tiny bugs can get right out of here. I like big bugs. I'm a fan.
And you cannot
not
lie.
I like big bugs, and I cannot lie. I like those rhinoceros beetles are cool. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they have one of the best botanical gardens on the planet. So they also have a very, very, and the entire zoo is a botanical garden. That's why it's one of the biggest on the planet. And they have a huge bug house, and I love going in there and seeing, like, they have worms and centipedes and rhinoceros beetles and other kinds of, like, bugs from, the Amazon rainforest that are well, there's only 4 of these in existence that we know of, but here's one of them, and it's so cool. You guys should go see the botanical gardens in Cincinnati if you ever get the chance. Go to the bug house if you like bugs like Legoshi. I do. I like looking at them. Holding them, another thing entirely. I worry. Like, Legoshi's bug pet is Kabu is a tame beetle, right? He knows what's gonna happen. He knows how it operates. But like, you go in there and get a wild bug on your arm, and it's anybody's guess. So only tame bugs for this boy. But yeah, I do like bugs.
What about bugs?
Bug snacks, yeah. This is in a game called Bug Snacks.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
speaking of which, tell us about that. How was that for you? Because that was an interesting game that came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
Bug snacks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was super fun.
What was the experience
I mean, that was a
voicing
game we got to have a lot of fun with because we had a script, but I auditioned, and they wanted a non-binary actor, which is cool. So I auditioned and got the part. And then when we all got in for an ensemble session, we had a lot of great actors there. We had like Deborah Wilson and Roger Craig Smith and Fred Chatashore and stuff. And Roger Craig Smith played my character's brother. And once I heard his character, I'm like, okay, hold on, I'm gonna have to change a few things. I have to make my character sound more like his, and way more annoying to match him, enough so I could piss his character off. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
So, like mid-session, I'm like, hey, can we talk about this? And they're just like, well, just do it how you're doing now. And it wasn't until after that session, I'm just like, no, we got to change this voice because this is just all wrong. So we did. We went back and we changed my character voice, and I made it match more of his. And it was more like floofty fizzlebean. It's more snooty and stuff like that. And that's what his character was doing. And my character originally was much softer. And I'm like, nope. No, it's no. Once I heard him, I had to make it just as annoying. So we can get at each other with an equally annoying voice, and you know what I mean, like siblings. So
Right.
yeah, and we got to have a lot of fun with it. We got to ad lib some things. We had a set script, but we got to play with it. They let us play a lot with it, and it was a hell of a fun game to work on. You typically don't get to work on games where they say, okay, we have a few things, but if you're feeling anything funny that you feel like you can say in character, go for it. And
That's the most freeing and terrifying thing to be told.
Yeah, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Say anything, but make
I
it
didn't think they
funny.
would. There's a part of the game where randomly in the game, my character, like all the other NPCs in the game, can run around and do various things. Go inside a place, make food, whatever, go to the bathroom. And inside the bathroom, inside the outhouse, they say things. And one of the things I said that I thought for sure was going to be cut was, that's an odd color. And I'm like, and that's something that you hear from the outhouse.
What did I eat?
And I heard it in the game, and I'm just like, no way, no way, oh my god. So yeah, that was
All right,
pretty good
poop
work.
jokes.
Super fun.
All right, here's one more for me before I swap it back over to you, Sora. Because of the pandemic that happened last year, that affected a lot of things, because usually you guys go into booths to record separately or yada yada yada. How has the pandemic affected you guys as voice actors?
Oh,
Throughout the
boy.
pandemic.
Here we go. Here we go.
I have to.
Let's go.
I have
All right,
to
who wants to go
I have to
first?
go last. I have to go last.
Okay.
If I go
All
first,
right, well, let's
if I
go
go
last.
last, you're not gonna get a chance.
So yeah, the pandemic. We've all been recording in our closets. Basically, we're all trapped
Literally,
inside little tiny rooms with no airflow and trying to dub through Skype. It's been an adventure,
1 week.
which is a nice way. Anyway, I don't even know what the word. I'm happy.
I love the bare naked ladies.
Yeah, me too. Oh, there's the band, right? Gotcha.
Bam.
Yeah, I'll just take Casey as a rabbit.
Hot. Yeah. It's been wild, but it's worked out for us because eventually we were very fortunate that we were able to actually do our job from home. You know, a lot of people really suffered through the pandemic. Voice acting, we were one of the few acting industries that wasn't too bad. You know, so yeah. But yeah, I'm just really happy that it happened, and that well, no, not that the pandemic happened. I mean that we were able to work from home. That part, just to be perfectly clear. But yeah,
Got it.
that was pretty much my experience of like, can't wait for this to be over, and it seems like it's almost over. Finally, Mr. Jonah.
I came. Yeah, we're all vaccinated. I think. Yeah, we're all vaccinated. I would assume. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Cool.
I'm still wearing my
I
mask.
came. Yeah, same. Still wearing the mask. I came
Same.
from online scene of voice acting, so everything I did was remote. Like I lived in Cincinnati, in Bowling Green, Kentucky, in Florence, Kentucky, and like that whole pseudo South area. And there was like it's not a very big video hub, obviously. So all of the gigs that I got either from LA, Texas, New York, even Poland, Australia, I would do that from my closet. Anywhere I was, and at the time I was moving around between college and back home, so I had my Scarlett and my Rode NT1A always on me, and like in the back of my car, just like at the drop of a hat to do an audition or something like that. So I am very used to recording remotely, and this wasn't like I was able to set it up really quick. It took like a day and a half for me to get everything sorted, and the trickiest part of it, for me at least. Was we work with a lot of different studios. I need 4 hands to be able to count even half of where we go. And because of that, each studio has their own protocol, and each studio has their own systems, and each studio has their own programs and setups and things like that. So when I'm recording for Studio A, I know in the morning, okay, so tonight I got to set up this, and I got to make sure I'm logged into this, and then I got to make sure that I have this ready, and then this mic and my laptop in here. So, and then for the session in the afternoon, after I eat lunch, I got to change everything around and move everything around and get this program up and make sure that this works. So it was a lot of figuring out, I have this session today. That's right. I got to make sure that I have the right programs, the right microphones, the right, the way I dub is I use here. This is the first time. I'm glad I get to say this because I've been stewing on this for a while. It's genius. Christian Bonas helped me set this up. So I have 2 Discord accounts. One Discord account is professional, and the other Discord account is memetic, me, stupid shit, And I call one of my Discord accounts from a laptop in my closet, and then I screen share on a hard line, so there's no latency. And I just screen share whatever is on my main computer, and that's usually the video or the video and then the script. Granted, I have a very tiny screen in there on my laptop, so I have to make sure that the screen real estate is there. And yeah, sometimes I got to lean forward and squint and like figure out what's going on. The funniest pandemic, recording session that I had was Sniper Mask in High Rise Invasion doesn't have any lip flaps, but the laptop that I was using was loud. And or loud enough. It was on silent mode, but they're like, if you want to do the subtle stuff and you got to turn your gain up, the laptop has to, either move or you got to do something on your phone. And I'm like, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. We get a preview, and then after the preview, we do the line. We get to see it first in Japanese, and then we do the line. So I would take my preview. I put my laptop on my nightstand that's outside of my desk. I would look at the preview. Okay, cool, got it. Close the door, and I'm like, all right, he doesn't have any flaps. Let's just hope this works. So I closed the door, and then I would record blind, and it came out fine because he doesn't have any flaps, and I could do really whatever I wanted. I got to do some really cool reads in that show, but I guess it's very situational, and it was honestly kind of fun adventure. But I was still going into studios when I got the opportunity to, just to kind of assess people's COVID protocols and see what was going on. Most of them were pretty good, but they spaced sessions out enough. So if I really cared about a show, I would ask to see if I could go in and really try really hard to make it like pop. But if I was like man 1A or something in a show, it's like you don't need me to be in a pro area. You don't need me to be in this big room. I can record this from home. So that was my experience.
What about you?
You just summed it up for all of us, dude. It's pretty much that for literally all of us.
Do you
only just.
I'm like, wow, you had a whole screen in your booth. I was dubbing on my phone. It was like this little teeny tiny thing, and I'm like, I'm like,
you were not.
Yeah, no, I am. Yeah, that's the only way. I didn't have any extra screens. Oh yeah.
I could just give you a tablet or another laptop or something.
I have no room. My booth is like this big.
Oh yeah,
right now, I hit the walls right here. Yeah, it is a coffin.
It is a coffin, yeah.
It is. It's the perfect. When I get buried, it will be in my booth.
Did you want to add
just double it?
Or did you want me to?
I mean, like, I guess now, like going on what you were saying is if you really care about a show you're doing, you're like, okay, we're not so sure about doing this part from home because there's a lot going on. I just did a session yesterday for a show, and there's so much going on, and it's too much, and I have like this huge monologue that's like 4 pages long. I can't even see the whole thing on the screen that they gave me.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, look, it's gonna sound like crap if we keep taking it bit by bit and weird. I want to do it in 1 pass, 2 pass, and pick it up so it sounds more natural and sounds better and just sounds more believable and more authentic than rather me having to like engineer myself, tweak things, and switch windows in the middle of a monologue. It's just going to sound bad. So we're starting to just now go back into studios if we are okay with it, which I am because I'm vaccinated. I still wear a mask, and everyone at these studios are vaccinated. So I'm going back in Monday and to just continue working on shows.
It's like so much better. My God.
Yeah,
I like how you said like I go back in Monday like the time has come. It all ends.
You don't understand. Trying to dub
pretty
with
much
our crappy internet here, with our crappy internet here as well. They're like, do you see the screen? And I'm like, I really don't. I see a slideshow. And because it's instead of like dubbing to a fluid picture, I'm getting.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you see that part in this time code where like the mouth flat? I'm like, I saw the same screen for 6 seconds. And they're like, oh. So the whole time I'm pretty much dubbing to sound. And they're like, well, good luck. I'm like, okay, we'll just try it and hope it works. So it's going to be nice going back into studios. And it's no one's fault. It's just the internet connection bouncing between someone from home, someone from studio, and me in my home studio. Using all these different programs, there's a lot going on. And the connection isn't always going to be the most stable, of course. So going into studio is going to eliminate that. It's going to be weird dubbing to picture live in sync again without having to guesstimate where it might be. You know what I mean? So it's going to be
you've developed
weird
a new muscle
to see it again. Yeah, I kind of have over the last year and a half.
But my God,
it's going to be weird not using it anymore.
In the booth now is like banging because it's just like, wow, I don't have all problems.
I don't even look at the video anymore. During the preview, I'll pace it out to myself, and then I'll just stare at the script while I'm recording it so I don't mess up the words. And then be like, yep, we're good. Yep, we're good. Yep, we're good.
Yep. Just get the timing. Just get the audio timing. Look at the script. Go from there. You're usually good if you do that.
I'll try and speed mine up because I know we've been on this for a while. So the best way I can summarize this is the game has changed, both for the better and for the worse. And I mean this in a sense of privilege and accessibility. It goes the whole spectrum. So during the first month of the pandemic, when everyone thought, oh, we just have to wait a month, this will all blow over, and then we'll have everyone back in the studio, they just canceled all of our work, and all of us logged more hours in Animal Crossing in 1 month than we did like in the last 10 years. But after they realized it was going to be more long term, everyone, all at once, started reaching out to actors going, So, what's your home setup like?
Yeah.
And that's when they all quickly learned, and this wasn't a bad thing, but they all quickly learned that the mass majority of actors have home setups that are only good for auditioning, not for broadcast. And that's fine,
Correct.
because most of the case up to that point, you'd audition from home, they'd ignore any like background noise or studio glitches or whatever, because they're like, all right, well, if we book them, they're going to come into the studio. Well, that was no longer a factor.
Right.
So all of a sudden, I'm sure each of us at some point had a client that went, we need you to take care of this. We need you to get rid of this background noise. We're getting this weird feedback, or we're getting this weird
Yeah, that was the
reverb or
computer
something."
issue I had. I had to like just retrofit
I
everything.
literally had that was when I had to finally put my PC out of commission because the PC fan was just too loud for me to use it for a session. So that's where it got worse for people, is because I was fortunate enough to be able to drop about $4,000 on turning one of my rooms into a makeshift studio booth. You know, wall-to-wall acoustic foam, baffling blankets, new microphone, new reverb filter. I went from a Blue Yeti to basically a professional standard microphone all in the span of 2 weeks. Not many people can afford to drop that kind of money. Jonah, you said when you moved out, you had like what, less than $1,000 to your name?
I had
something like that?
$200.
Yeah, $200, and we're talking about me spending $4,000 in 2 weeks just to upgrade my studio. I was able to do it, and because I was able to do it, I had the unfair advantage of being available when clients were scrambling to fill in these slots now that clients weren't willing to wait anymore. However, I mentioned the accessibility because once they realized it was possible to get broadcast quality audio from a home studio, as long as the talent could afford to make those upgrades, the doors opened wide for everyone. Like now you see there's shows by Funimation that are using talent that aren't just from Texas.
That's a very good point. I got to work at Funimation for the first time because of the pandemic.
Yeah, same. Kinda, yeah, same. I work with new studios because of that.
And I know that people are excited to go into the booth, and I'm not going to begrudge anyone that wants to go back in the studio. For example, when I did Age of Calamity, I specifically requested that they let me come into the booth because I did not want to miss any takes due to tech glitches or something like that. I wanted to just focus on my performance. But the sheer amount of productivity that I've gotten to have because there's no commute time between my sessions, the number of sessions I've been able to fit into my daily schedule because I can have something from 9 to 11, then from 12 to 2, then from 4 to 6, as long as my throat holds up. I have gotten so much done because I'm able to record from home now. And I'm honestly kind of scared that once we can go back into this booth, that they're going to make that the requirement.
They're going to think,
and that we're not
they're going to think that's the norm now.
So that's what I mean when I say the game has changed. Like, both for the better and for the worse, it's just not the same anymore. And there's all these different factors that people have to consider. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the dubbing industry goes forward with this knowledge and how accessible the industry becomes now that we know it's easier for folks with remote setups to be considered seriously.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I understand why you wanted to say that.
It's going to be weird going back into because we really have adapted to something new, and going back into the studio, I feel is going to be still kind of different from pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, because we were so used to this other way of working now for the last year and a half.
We have the skills now. We can self-engineer. We can edit our own audio.
Well,
I imagine a lot of people are like, hey, listen, if I'm going to spend $2,000 to upgrade my booth so you'll accept my recordings, I want to be able to use it. I don't want to use it for 3 months and then have you bring me back into the studio all the time.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure for like certain situations we will be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like back then, like 2 years ago, they would have said, no, you got to come in here.
Yeah.
Like now it's just like, well, we still have a booth. We know you have a good booth. You know what I mean? Those
if it's for like a smaller show, like, B-Stars, they might let you just record from home.
I can't. This
an itty-bitty show,
this
like
model
B-Stars.
literally doesn't let me flip you off anymore, so you're lucky.
Wait, I thought they were going to record it for season 3 in VR. I thought that's what they're doing now. They're just all the instances are actually in VR chat.
Yes, this is the model they're going to use for the show. It looks exactly the same quality.
They're going to save on budget. They're going to save on budget for the animation team by just having people come into the show with their own avatars, and they're going to just record it in-house.
They even have Easter eggs in the new season. It says Jonah Scoot for those who are paying close attention.
He gets to wear that in the show, like while he beats up Lewis.
And yell poggers at the same time. It's going to be great. Yeah. the line is just going to blur the entire time.
Yeah. All right, so do you have any questions to ask them, or do you want me to keep on going?
Yes. For Sean, what was your
Hello.
experience playing Sheen and Fatigue on Bedfellows like?
So that was one of the early. I actually mentioned this on my panel yesterday for Hire Me. So that was one of the first instances of where passion and professionalism were able to intersect. Because I first discovered Bedfellows when the pilot went up on YouTube, and I saw it and I was like, oh, this is so cool. You know, I wonder if they're going to do any other characters for this franchise, or if they're going to hold auditions. I need to find out more about this show. And by looking around on the internet is how I found the account of the person who made it. And lo and behold, the day that I was hunting for their account is the day that they posted the journal saying we're looking for voice actors to actually voice Sheen and Fatigue going forward. So I sent in the auditions. You can probably still find them on SoundCloud if you want to listen to what I sound like 10 years ago. And it was mostly just forward from there. And I'm trying to think, it was probably one of the earliest instances of me giving back to the community. Originally it was, dubbing the comics, which you can't really find online anymore because they decided to go in a different direction. But I was really happy supporting the creator, Crispy Animations, because, this was a personal pet project of his. He was really hoping to eventually, market it to Adult Swim. Fatigue was really, really important to me because I really loved his personality, or her personality. I forget which gender they are officially. But probably the most important thing is that even though Bedfellows stopped, both Sheen and Fatigue directly influenced future character roles. By modifying Fatigue's voice, so that I lost the accent, I made him more robotic, and I gave a staccato element to his voice. Fatigue's voice was modified to become Monotaro in Danganronpa V3. And with Sheen, I specifically took Sheen's aggressiveness and his anger, and I changed that aggression into internal aggression, like bitterness and like a little bit of self-doubt, self-hatred. And Sheen's voice became Teba in Breath of the Wild. So both of them had a direct influence on how I created future characters, and that's why I'm super grateful for them.
That's nice.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's a question from me. Ben, what was it like the experience voicing a character for Kingdom Hearts as young Xehanort? Also, side note to those that are watching on the stream, all the questions are coming through our Discord, not through the Twitch stream.
Yeah. Yeah. This dude is great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah!
of course. Yeah, had to.
Dude, that's sick.
Casey.
Do not
bring it.
More
How dare you?
VR chat again.
Give in to the darkness, Casey.
Lore battle.
Walk away.
You walk away. You
shit.
can hear me. Lore battle.
You don't walk away from me, Mongillo. Shing.
Oh my.
Don't go. Yeah. What have I done? I love voicing this character. It's one of those things where I'm always kind of worried it's sort of a Disney character, but not really. So I'm always like, oh, I hope I don't say anything too inappropriate on the internet as this guy. But he is a meme in and of himself. He's a constant cheese, and he trolls you throughout the entire game. So I like going on the internet and trolling Kingdom Hearts fans as this character. And yeah, that's the best part about this role for me. Thanks for the question.
Absolutely.
Sure.
That's gonna be a
There's
gift.
actually one small thing, because every single person has been asking this, and if I don't say this, there will be a riot, and they will be furious.
Oh.
Ben.
Wow.
This is why
I'm sorry,
you're doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you. Get him.
Okay, Ben. Of course, everyone knows that you play Jack and Beastars, and then everyone loves your little singing thing that you do when you and Legoshi are talking about love interests. Will you say a little song?
Well, I'm sorry, you broke up. One more time?
Will you say your
Sing
little
the
"Oh
song,
my tail is
Bart.
swinging"?
Sing the song.
Oh, okay. Hang on, wait.
Everyone is asking.
Oh, my tail swinging, maybe I'm in love. Lego she, what? Are you saying she's not a wolf?
Not a wolf. Not a wolf.
Not a bull. Ragged fucking little.
So,
No. Take that. Bad. No.
Anyway, you got what you wanted.
You got what you wanted. There. Shut up.
Now I gotta drink water and cleanse my soul.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
There. It'll be all right.
Thank you. We're good.
All right, here's another small one for everyone. What are some personal, because everyone always asks, how do you become a voice actor? So we're going to do something a little bit different instead, because you can all Google that instantly whenever you guys need to. What are some vocal warm-ups you guys do?
What
I was
vocal
just
warm-up?
gonna ask
On the
that, too.
drive to a
That was
studio?
the one that was on my list.
Yeah.
For vocal warm-ups, on the drive to a studio, driving through LA, you yell so much it warms your voice up real quick.
They ain't wrong.
You're not wrong. Ugh.
That's my warm-up.
Realistically, though,
I get angry and I yell at stupid drivers.
Realistically,
me.
though, you probably don't want to yell to warm up just because that's very stressful on your throat, since all speaking that we do is based on creating friction between our vocal cords. So the more aggressive the friction, the more repetitive, the faster your throat's going to wear down. It's a muscle like anything else. I personally have gotten a little bit better. The most consistent is just being hydrated, and that means before, during, after, just all the time.
Oh, for sure.
You should not be drinking water when it's time to record. You should be drinking water anytime that you feel
Beforehand,
like your
for
throat might be dry. Yeah. I'll also, you mentioned driving down the highway. Actually, humming or singing along to your favorite songs really
Humming,
does
yeah,
help.
humming is actually really good to do.
Yep.
That's
For sure, humming, singing, nothing too crazy. Just hum along without killing your voice or anything like that, but it warms it up,
Go ahead. There are certain as I've been doing this professionally and 8 hours a day for weeks on end, you develop, and I know this is gonna sound super pretentious, but your voice is an instrument. And you get to learn and just like a saxophonist knows every nook and cranny of their saxophone, you get to start to learn what you can do and how long you can keep it up, and how hard you can go, and when you know when to stop, when you know when to ask for a break. For warm-ups, I'm a big fan of the Beastie Boys, and they have a very aggressive style of rapping that is not yelling, but it's as much projecting as you would doing anime or something like that. So I listen to a lot of the Beastie Boys on the way down to when I was doing season 1 of Beastars, I would listen to the Beastie Boys. I would listen to the theme song to the show, and I would rap with the Beastie Boys for the hour drive down to Santa Monica. So, but yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Ben.
Put your claws together and make some noise for the Beastars boys! Yeah! I will say this.
Boys!
Yeah! See, I'm don't ever do what I do. I will do something similar, but instead of the Beastie Boys, I will listen to metal and scream at the top of my lungs on the way there. That's how I warm myself up. But then I stop. That's the thing. There's a limit.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, I am officially there. Done. And then I stay quiet. So that's how I warm myself up. Or just the way you schedule things. So sometimes, for instance, in the morning, I like to do the really vocally stressful stuff because my voice hasn't gotten all the gunk out of it, and the gunk takes all of the beating at first, and then the nice, light, gentle stuff in the afternoon, and then the deeper gravelly stuff at night because my voice is tired and I'm ready to just go to bed already. So it's it's already ready, it's already down there. So it's just about scheduling sometimes.
Is that true? Do you really do that?
Oh, yeah. Metal?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Any
All
recommendations?
the times I've hung out, I've never seen you do that. Next time.
Yeah, I know. That's my thing. But it's my private thing. There's a reason I like Gretzko, okay? That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Another thing that I noticed.
Oh my god, I'm learning.
Over.
It's Ben's dirty little secret.
That was probably
It can also help like to get into the mental headspace if you want to as well. Like I'm very much a kinesthetic person. Like I like to, I want to feel like I'm in the world that I'm going to be performing in. So, back when I was recording for season 1 of ReZero, every time that I drove to the studio, the last song that I would have on before I went into or arrived at the building was the opening theme to ReZero, and I would sing along to it.
I love playing themes to whatever I'm driving to. Just play the theme to the show.
And it was such a bop that by the time I actually got to the parking lot, like the song would be finishing up, I'd be like, all right, I'm good. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Like and that can really help get you in the right headspace. So if it works for you, go for it.
When I was working on One Punch Man, that was a hell of a drive to the studio, let me tell you.
All right, I have a quick one for you guys, which won't take much time.
Real quick, song.
We already had him sing.
Song,
don't make him.
that song.
Hello.
Hello. I can't actually see the camera. Hi, everybody. This is a 2-hour panel. And the first hour is streamed on Twitch. However, the second hour is not. We're moving on to the next event. The next hour of the VA panel will be shown in every event instance. So if you're already there, please don't leave. You will see the rest of it. And if you don't, if you're not in an event instance or you just can't get to one right now, go to our website. You can find the link to the to our little late stream where you'll see the rest of this panel. But for right now, our Twitch channel will switch over to the next event. Thank you everyone for watching. And you guys can continue.
Thank you.
Woo. Woo.
All right.
Yeah.
That wasn't a very good question.
That sucks, song, boo.
Actually, I do have one question here. That seems pretty relevant. Like not one of those like how do I get into it? It's more of a as a new voice actor that just got his first role in a video game, what is the one mistake I should avoid in the future when taking on jobs?
I got a good.
Only one? Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, okay. I mean, this is one that a lot of people talk about, but we'll talk about it here. Non-disclosure agreements.
Oh God.
There's a reason why people are always very, very tight-lipped about some stuff. It is company policy for a lot of places that they. The interesting thing about the voiceover industry, guys, a long time ago, back in like the 90s. Most people would just kind of tell their friends about all sorts of stuff that they were working on, and nobody really thought twice. As technology advanced, and specifically Facebook, that was the one that got it all started, people became very open about what they were working on Facebook. And they were like, it's my friends, it's people I know. And it was also friends of their friends and friends of their friends who would find out and then tell everybody. And then there would be news articles about games that nobody was supposed to know about, TV shows that nobody was supposed to know about. And so ever since then, and especially it's gotten even worse with Twitter, which is a much more public platform, we are expected to keep a nice tight lid on anything we're in, and yes, that includes leaks. So for instance, if you find out about something, there's like a trailer playing and you hear something that's clearly Jonah's voice, and you like go to Twitter and you're like, Jonah, I know it's you, congratulations. This dude has to pretend like he doesn't see that tweet. That's how it is. It's super serious. Even if he does, he can't acknowledge it.
Like we sign these agreements that say if we are responsible for information that harms our value or the value of our marketing or the value of like our specific routine, we can take you to court for what we perceive to be the amount of value that we lost. So you have to understand.
And that could be arbitrary.
Video games typically pay about $200 an hour. That marketing may have cost them $200,000 to prepare so that they could get game sales. We cannot afford to pay for the loss of value that we created by leaking that information. And not only just that, it's a loss of trust. And trust in this industry is everything. If you betray the trust of a client, they go, well, we can't trust you to not ruin stuff for us, so we're just not going to work with you anymore. But they also have colleagues or other clients where they go, hey, if you're going to work with so-and-so, just want to give you a heads up, they leaked this thing on our project when we worked with them, and it cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars. You may want to go with someone else. And in the voice acting industry, there are already thousands of people who can give competitive reads for the same type of characters. If there is any reason why you are more of a liability than someone else, they have no reason to use you.
Sad but true.
Sorry.
Yep. That's what it is.
Yep.
That's basically it.
I'll lighten
So
the mood
basically,
with a
keep your
funny
mouth shut.
story.
Oh yeah, please
Keep your
go.
mouth
Shut. You got it.
So this is one I have actually been waiting to tell at a convention. So you are all my test crowd, by the way.
You're the guinea pigs,
boy.
the literal guinea pigs.
The very
Oh, boy.
first session I ever had in Los Angeles. Let me tell you how it went. It was for a video game, and Nathaniel knows this one. It was for a video game, and I voiced. At the time, I wasn't getting very like juicy auditions, but I voiced an announcer pack for a skin of a character in like a MOBA of some kind, and I was very excited. I didn't have a car, so I took a lift to the studio. I got into the studio. The studio wasn't open yet, and I was like, the entire time I'm like texting my mom. I'm like, this is so exciting. The studio's not open yet. What do I do? Talking to my parents and like, get in like a friend group chat from people back home. And I'm like giving him a play-by-play. And the guy comes to unlock the studio. I go inside. He kind of looks at me weird, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I'm early. Just sue me, right? I'm trying to make a good impression. So I go in. I do the voice actor thing that I'm always told to do. Make some tea. Get on my phone, scroll through Reddit a little bit.
Oh my
I already
God,
warmed up in the car,
weeb.
so I'm good to go. I got on my I warmed up in the car, so I'm ready to go. And I sit there, and I'm like, okay. Usually there's like some place to sign in, and there wasn't. And I heard some people like going to town doing work on a game down the hallway in the studio, and I'm like, okay, so people are here. It's not like it's not like I'm screwing up too bad. So I sit there and I wait, and my session time rolls around, and I walk up and down the hallway looking for somebody with authority, and I don't see anybody. And I sit back down, and I'm like, okay, I am at the studio. Yeah, the names are the same. This is fine. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I sit down, and 15 minutes pass my session time, 30 minutes past my session time, and I'm like, okay, something's wrong. And I hear footsteps coming down the hallway, and who else but Liam O'Brien turns the corner, looks me in the eye, grabs a clementine from the table, starts to peel, and he says, so, you supposed to be here today? And I'm like, yeah, I have a session. He's like, I'm the only person booked in the studio today. So I think you're in the wrong place. And he turns around, takes a bite out of his clementine, and walks down the hallway. And I'm like, oh, fuck, Liam O'Brien just told me that I screwed up. And I checked my email, and sure enough, they're like, "Are you here? We're actually at our satellite studio today. I don't know if the wires got crossed, and I had to take a lift across town, in like midday traffic, and get there 45 minutes late for my 2-hour session."
Oh my God,
Oh.
Jonah! I had the same situation. There was a session
I'm
where they
so
said, "All
sorry.
right, we're at 2246 like Burbank Boulevard," and I went to 2246 Burbank Boulevard, but they were like, "Oh no! This is the 2246 Burbank Boulevard outside the city, not the 2246 Burbank Boulevard inside the city."
Whoa.
And that was a 50-minute drive through traffic to get to
I get there.
2246.
I barrel into the studio.
Maybe we should keep doing this from home.
It's like one booth, and the only person there is the engineer, because this game is so freaking tiny that it doesn't really matter. It's the engineer, and then they're piping in the director, who is directing like 18 sessions for this game today. And I roll in, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm late. Oh my God, I do all the apologetics, and the engineer's like, yeah, no, it's fine. Like, you have a minimum. We only need you for like 30 minutes, so it really doesn't matter.
Oh. That's the best possible situation. Jeez.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, really.
I screwed up. My heart jumped out of my throat for like 30 minutes as I was driving across town. But it all panned out. Character sounded great. It was fantastic. But Liam O'Brien told me I screwed up.
So to finally add on to that, you were talking about, being so excited, texting your friends, being passionate. This is actually a little awkward for me to say, but just to add on to the question of, what's one mistake you don't make? Another thing I talked about in my panel, you have to remember the moment that you're in there to do a job, you are now a professional, not just a fan.
Yeah, it's work time.
And it's not just a matter of how you conduct yourself, it's how you're perceived. I actually am pretty sure that there's a studio I'm blacklisted from, and all that I know is that when I worked for them, apparently I gave off an aura of just being too excitable, like too casual, too joking around, that it left them, this is what I was told, this is all I was able to find out, that it left them feeling like I was too much of a fanboy to be trusted with confidential information.
You're
You're Sean
I'm
from
dead
Chiplock.
serious.
Oh my god.
I'm dead serious. So ever since then, I don't get auditions from them. They don't hire me. I haven't been able to work with them, and to this day, I have not been able to find out what the actual reason was. But that is what
That
I
is the
was told.
worst.
Wow.
Weird.
Okay, this is off topic, but very on brand for me. I gotta go pee really quick. Hold on.
Oh my God! Oh, she's not here. No, bad boy.
That's actually no. That's
No.
actually what he does. He like sits down facing the back of the toilet and like wraps his legs around the back to make sure that.
Over the restroom. Yeah.
Just.
Are you massaging him?
the
Just
hard
help him out. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
yeah,
you
I'm
got
just helping
this.
him. You know,
Good
You
boy.
got this.
I'm just
Good
helping
job.
the river flow.
Save some for me. Save some for me.
Ah!
So this one's a pretty short, silly one. To just wait for him to come back from the bathroom, and then we can surprise him with it.
No,
Can you
yeah, I
drive
would
a-
say
can
all
you-
of
can
us
you drive
answer,
a-
and then when he comes back.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
can you drive a stick shift?
Oh God, no. No, I would kill us. I would kill anybody in that car. We would all be dead. Never in my life have I even touched a stick shift.
Oh my God, I've been waiting for this
I-
opportunity. Can I please drive with you while you're in stick shift?
Oh god.
I want my
What do you have a
suffering to
death
end.
wish?
Yes, I want my
Yes,
suffering to end. I'm a millennial.
No. Bad.
Oh.
Bad.
Come here. No,
Gen Z.
come here. Let me love you. Let me love you. Let
thank
me
you.
love you. Oh.
The
Yeah.
hide a hug.
Yeah, he's back. Oh my
Listen.
God. Oh my God. And he's
The fastest
Listen.
person in the West. What's up?
So, all right. So, Jonah, it's your turn to answer. Can you?
Can I?
Can you?
Yeah, can you?
Yes or no?
Yeah, can you?
Can you?
Yeah, I think I can.
That's
Wow.
the actor in him right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You always say yes. Yes, I can. Anytime. Yeah.
Yes and.
Yes,
no,
and?
I specifically,
Yes, and?
made sure that my car, my replacement car, had an auto parallel parking functionality so that I wouldn't have to do it. There is no way in hell I could drive
That's
stick
a
shift.
thing.
Yes. No, Casey, you have no idea. I slowly drive forward. It finds a space. Then it tells me what to do. I put it in the correct position, and then it parks itself. I don't even have to touch
This
the
robot
wheel.
helps me park.
That is. I wouldn't trust that. I that's terrifying to
okay,
me.
Casey, another example.
Oh.
I have on my the car, the very first car I've ever owned, the car that I just bought last year, it has automatic cruise control. Now, what that is like I can set a speed and then it will
Yep.
like brake and
Yep.
accelerate for me
Yeah,
with cars
that's nice.
like on the highway. It's fantastic on the
Yep.
405 going down the
Oh.
road. But it is
Mhm.
terrifying because you can set a draw distance for each car, right? So you can be 1 car length, 2 car lengths, 5 car lengths, and sometimes I make it pretty short. And I'm so nervous when I'm going up to a car because I'm like usually going pretty fast, but I'm like, is the robot gonna do it? Is the robot gonna brake or do I have to do it? Is the robot gonna brake? Is the robot gonna brake or am I gonna do it?
No.
I'm gonna do it.
You're
I'm just too
asking
scared.
is the robot going to break or am I going to?
Yeah, exactly. So wait a minute. If you have it set, can you still brake and override it?
Yeah.
You
yourself.
can brake
No,
and
no,
you
you
turn it
can
off.
Thank God for that. Holy crap.
No, you can always
Okay,
no.
I mean,
You
still.
can, but you know Los Angeles traffic. Sometimes you set the robot to
Oh,
a draw
hell,
distance of 5, and then the
Yeah.
dude cuts into the lane in front of you, and now it's a draw distance of 0.5.
Oh my god!
And it
And
slams on the brake. Yeah.
the thing is, it's a computer.
Oh,
so when
Lord.
the guy cuts into your lane, this thing has to notice the new car, calculate the new trajectory, slow down accordingly. And for that 1.5 seconds, you're like, oh, I might actually die because of this jerk.
The computer
Am I gonna
doesn't
hit this
give a
guy?
shit. It's a computer. No, I would never trust that. I'm way too good behind a wheel. Ben knows to trust something like that.
But listen, with my auto cruise control, I have never made more progress on my Switch games while on the highway. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Not even as a
As we
joke.
say, not as we do.
Oh my God.
My
Going
God.
autopilot the entire way.
Anyway,
Oh my
Nathaniel,
God.
this has
actually,
been
man,
this
I
has
would
been
never
top
trust
tier
that.
with
Oh my
voice
God.
actors.
I actually have a question
we're
for
sorry.
you from the chat.
Oh?
From Nathaniel.
And the question for you is Baba Booey.
Oh,
Baba Booey.
man.
That's the answer. What else do you
That's
say?
the answer. That's it. There you go.
No
That's
dab?
the answer, Baba Booey.
No dab?
No
There we
There you
dab?
go.
go. What?
Perfect.
No dab?
There you go.
So no dab?
You're lucky I'm not doing a
So
like
no
that
dab?
right now. a little dab will do. But I have another fun question for you. And this is one for most of you guys, and you'll know why shortly. All of you guys, quickly, do any kind of JoJo pose you can, except for Sean. You're just going to stand there menacingly.
Hopefully the expression
levitate.
is working.
There you go.
This is one, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Photo
That's
moment.
great. All right. For an actual question, though. For an actual question, though, going back to kind of the more furry topic a little bit, since you guys have been in a few furry roles and stuff like that, and kind of experienced the furry fandom gradually through your roles and through the fandom and through all the experiences that you've been through conventions and stuff like that, how have you found the VR furry experience so far, especially? And what's been your favorite part so far?
Crashing the entire client for 35 minutes. Because
That's my favorite part.
I can't honestly say there's ever been a time where I've been at a physical convention and the door suddenly glitched out and like half the people in the room lost the bottom halves of their bodies and we just had to like reset the entire building. That's definitely unique to VR. That's definitely unique to VR.
So you're saying that if we ever
Very
need a
true.
server test to just bring you the instance?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. This was all Sean's fault, in case you guys were wondering. Always blame
Well,
Sean.
no. In all seriousness, I mentioned this yesterday, but what I really like about the fact is it allows the freedom of panels going over time. Like, for example, if this had happened, if we had had difficulties during a 6 to 8 panel at, say, Anime Expo, from 6 to 6:35, we'd be trying to get things started. We finally start at 6:40, and then at 7:45, the security guards are trying to rush us out the door so they can set up for the next panel. Versus this, where you guys can still get the full 2 hour, or even if we go over 2.5 hour experience, because we can just move to a different room and then stream it later. So I really like that flexibility and the lack of stress related to time constraints.
Absolutely. My favorite thing about this is probably the fact that, and this is going to sound mean, and I don't mean it that way.
The money.
I'm an introvert. No, the thing we're doing for free. Yes, that. Yeah, no. I'm an introvert, so like I get like really freaked out with like huge crowds, and so like here I'm like, oh no, there might be like a technical reason why I have to leave. Like, oh guys, I'm sorry, my battery is dying. I need to charge this thing. Bye. And then I leave and I don't feel terrible. Whereas in real life, it's like, oh, hi, for like 20 minutes straight.
My battery
so I
is
like
dying.
not having to do that. Yes, my social battery is dying. Goodbye.
Yeah, my social battery is dying. Sorry, got to recharge.
I personally enjoy, as somebody who's never been to an IRL furry convention, and this is my first experience at a furry convention, even though I have been ingrained. Even though I have been like ingrained in the like furry fandom for the past year and a half. It's fantastic. I love furries. They're amazing. But what I really, really appreciate is the ability for anybody and everybody to get their own fursuit, like almost 100% customized to exactly what you want in VR.
Yeah.
Usually thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, what can be reduced to a $35 2-hour gig for somebody to like, change the color of the hair and maybe make a different style. And I don't want a tail on this one. And, I want this one's eyes to glow. The things that would cost a lot of money.
Bigger.
Yeah, make it bigger. Don't be shy.
Jiggle physics for the bunny butt. Yeah.
But yeah, that's amazing. Everybody can express themselves in any way they want. Like this.
There we go. Look at that bunny butt.
It's a very safe space as well.
Hello?
Oh my god.
I think this is something unique that I can bring up since, most of us or all of us on this stage identify as males in some regard. I don't know if this is related to voiceover, but to the furry fandom specifically, the level of acceptable male physical interaction that happens in this fandom as a whole. And I don't mean anything inappropriate. I mean like physical touch, like shoulder touch, hugs, cuddles, like the level of male physical acknowledgement that happens is unlike anything I've ever seen from any other community. And it's something that I think is not talked about or acknowledged in society as a whole as of today. And I think it's really, really important that it's something you can find in this fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is true. I thought there was like, but we can do that in real life, buddy. I thought we were talking about virtual reality stuff.
Also, yeah, we're still in the middle of almost near the end of a pandemic. So I can get this close to Ben. I can get this close to Casey, and there's no awkwardness. There's no like, are people gonna think I'm weird because I'm not wearing a mask? There's no like, it's whatever. I can get all up in Sean's business. And
oh my God!
Wow,
that's what the inside of Sean's head looks like. It's so empty. Wow.
Isn't that amazing what we all look like on the inside?
Why does your head say gumbo?
What?
And the best thing is, now that this is in VR, none of them can tell I haven't showered in 3 days.
Oh, we can tell by
conventions. That's a big.
We didn't want to say anything, but
okay,
y'all know.
That's why the room crashed. I got a musky husky. I got the musk.
Oh,
boy.
No.
He said it. He said it.
He said it.
I'm just the innocent bunny. I didn't do anything.
The innocent bunny with a butt bigger than his own head. That's right.
Look, man, nature gave me this. beautiful butt. Beautiful bunny butt.
So I've done a bunch of conventions like in person as a guest wrangler there as well. And your personal like situation, that's why my policy is always to have like an out. Like I'll give them like a code word that they can like kind of like nudge and whisper at me and just be like, "Get me out of here."
Yeah.
So
that should be industry wide. Yeah. And
mine is what a great question.
Mine is whistles. I love whistles.
Whistles.
No. Yeah. If you get it, you get it.
This one's a question for Ben.
Yes.
I almost lost it. What was your first acting role? And if you can we get a Kids Next Door battle stations?
Oh boy. Well, let's see. My first acting role, technically, I was a child doing McDonald's commercial eating McNuggets, and there was no lines. But the first one that I ever did, I was like 4 years old. It was for a movie called Baby Boom in like the 80s. And my line, which I still have memorized today because I went over it that many times, was, "Mom, doesn't the sky look just like Paul Cézanne's Bay of Marseille?" And that was my very first acting role ever.
Well, hold on, if I may. Wasn't your first one like because your mom was pregnant with you, and didn't your mom do a thing? So technically, you were in the womb with your first thing.
I guess so. Right. That's true.
It sounded more like you were
even born yet. You're just in the womb, just hanging out,
underwater,
chilling amongst the placenta and all that other stuff.
And they were like, "We're getting a little bit of womb reverb. Could you please put some acoustic vocals?"
We get an Apple box for a kid.
The room sounds a little womb.
Okay, so night, everybody. Goodbye. I can't really. I'm in my own home, guys. I don't want to alert my neighbors, but Kids Next Door battle stations. That's as loud as I can do it. But,
oh my God, he said it. No.
So it was you pushing the question.
Ben, now you got to do it as like someone's first voiceover job where they're like scared to wake up their parents, and so they're shouting, but they're not actually shouting.
Yes, okay. Kids Next Door paddle stations. Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I'm recording, Mom. I'm sorry. God, you ruined everything.
You not.
Get out of my room. I'm playing Minecraft.
And nothing else.
Oh man. Oh, you can't see this, but I'm wiping tears from my eyes. Oh fuck. Okay. Thank you.
All right, I got one for you guys. Starting with Sean.
Okay.
Speaking, since you were in a very, very amazing Zelda game, what are your favorite games that you guys have either been in or played or that mean a lot to you?
So this is kind of a cop-out. This is a cop-out answer for me before everyone gives real answers. But I'm someone who struggles. No, I'm serious. I struggle a lot with trying to make sure that I don't get bitter or envious or jealous when I see what other colleagues are doing, because I'm very grateful for all the chances that I've had so far. But it's very, very easy to see really cool stuff that people get to do and be like, man, I wish I could be a part of that. And so my counter to that has been, there is no voiceover job that I do that I'm just like, all right, well, that was a job and I did it. I try to find something in every single job that I've recorded for that I can bring home with me, whether it was a new milestone that I accomplished, or a challenge that I had to overcome, or something that I knew right off the bat I was going to knock out of the park, and I got to showcase, my strength and leave a lasting impression. A lasting positive impression. And that has done a great deal of both keeping me humble and keeping me grateful, because now I can look back at any role that I've done and said, well, this role was important to me because of this, and this role was important to me because of this. And so now I don't, it helps me combat those feelings of bitterness and jealousy, because there's something in everything that I've done that I can look back on and say, this has helped me become better as a person. This has helped me grow as an actor. This has helped me expand my portfolio or expand my marketability. There is no wasted gig, so to speak. So that's how I approach it.
Cool.
That's good. That's wise.
Really good answer.
How do you follow that?
I don't know, but you're gonna
What was
try.
the question again?
I like Tetris.
So yeah, guys, what's your one favorite job out of all of them? No pressure.
Oh, I thought we were just talking about video games.
I thought it was just, just what was your favorite video game that meant a lot to you? But that's a really good
that you
answer to
played.
that question, though.
Oh, that I played. Oh, shit. Oh, I completely missed the point of the question.
My God.
That was a good
answer.
too.
Wrong question.
It was a damn good answer, I'll give you that.
Mario Tennis actually got me interested in tennis in the first place. I played Mario.
That's a good answer.
Mario Tennis was a legitimately fun tennis RPG with like stats and everything, and I played it nonstop. It's the first time that I ever got caught swearing because I kept losing to one of the final matches, and I said the F word, and my mother, who was doing laundry, heard me, and I started crying. But also, it just because it was actually very thorough with explaining the rules of tennis. And so when I got into high school, tennis was what I pursued as an intramural sport, because I wanted to be as cool as my player character in Mario Tennis. So, yeah.
And now you are.
Yeah. Now I need to be in a Prince of Tennis dub. Make it happen.
Man, if only.
What about you, Casey?
My favorite video game series was probably just Legend of Zelda. I think a lot of people are like, yeah, me too, whatever. But like that, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be Link, specifically from A Link to the Past. The Super Nintendo was my very first video game system that I ever actually got to own. And I'd been begging my parents for like just the regular Nintendo. So I got that. I got Mario World and I got Zelda, and that game pulled me and hooked me and made me a huge Nintendo fan to begin with. So yeah, it's the Legend of Zelda series. Probably A Link to the Past. That might still it flip-flops for me between all the different Zelda games, but definitely that one.
That's a really good one, yeah.
I can go next, or Casey.
Sure, yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. I'll go last.
Okay. When I moved to Los Angeles, I had a PS4, and that was pretty much it. And I was looking for really cheap games to play, and I'm a big fan of first-person action RPGs. So even first-person shooter, like narrative-driven shooters, things like BioShock, things like Titanfall, that kind of thing. And I found this game called Dying Light. And I had no idea what it was, but I love zombies. So I downloaded Dying Light, and it blew me away. It was a hidden gem that had been around for 4 years at that time. And Roger Craig Smith knocks it out of the park as Kyle Crane. I still have yet to meet that man, but I really, really do, because we interact every now and again on Twitter, and every time I do, I get a little giddy. But he seems like such a nice guy. But
he's a good, he's funny man, dude.
Yeah. Not a month after I beat the game, I get the audition for a video game, and I read through the sides, and I'm like, wait a second. This is referencing things to the game I just played and beat. Wait a second. This can't be. And then I asked the casting director, and he's like, yeah, like low key, this is the sequel to that game. So just like, keep it on the down low. And I freaked the hell out. And it wasn't an audition for the actual game. It was an audition to be the temp voice actor for the main character. It was an audition to be the scratch vocals that the person would hear for timing, who was doing the real game. And I was like, you know what? That's awesome. I got paid a reasonable wage. It was hourly. I get to read the script before anybody else, at least the first version of the script, and I get to be like, I considered it practice for something that I would do in like 7 years. But lo and behold, they just kept using me, and they just kept using me, and they just kept using me, and I would keep coming back. And I've been doing this gig for about 6 years, and I'm actually that character now. They just brought me up, and they're like,
That's really cool.
I went to, I know, man, I always get choked up talking about it, but I went to Poland a few weeks ago to film a show called Dying to Know, which is them basically re-releasing Dying Light 2 and being like, this is what's changed, and this is, the pandemic put us behind, but this is the new character. And I came out and I got to say that I voiced Aiden, and it was 100% official because I've been living 5 years of my life in this anxiety limbo, being like, they could axe me anytime they want. Like, it's like, I have no, and I can't be like, am I gonna be the character? No, I can't like say that. So I just had to like ride the wave. And when I got there, I was in a green room ready to go and start to like film on set. And 6 developers of the game that I have been working with like via email, so I knew their names, but I've never met them in my life. 6 developers of the game filed in, like almost like it's, a frat hazing. But they circled around me and they started applauding, and they're like, oh my God, it's you. We've been listening to your voice for years, and you're actually here. You're our Aiden. And I started weeping because I'm like, oh my God, these guys, they care. And I was like, I'm gonna make you guys love this game as much as I can. I'm gonna work as hard as I can to make it like really, really cool for everyone working together. And they shook my hand, they gave me hugs, they patted my back, it was very emotional. So Dying Light is one of the most important games in my life. That game is taking up a chunk of my life, almost a decade.
One day you're going to be like chilling in your apartment just reminiscing on this, and there's going to be a knock at the door, and it's going to be the guy that was supposed to replace you going, do you forget? Because I always remembered.
Dressed in cosplay for some reason. But yeah, I guess that's my, I'm trying to do quote fingers, favorite game. It's the most important one to me, at least.
That was way better than my misinterpreted answer.
Mine's gonna be pretty bootleg and fairly short. I love Tony Hawk games. They like kind of ease my anxiety, so I play the crap out of Tony. We saw the play.
Sick at Tony Hawk.
I swear to God.
Together.
Listen, let me tell the story for you. I tuned into this man's stream while he was doing, it was like a score attack, whatever it was, like a competitive score attack
Trick
online.
attack, yeah.
At one point,
yeah. Oh my God.
You have to understand, it's like a 2-minute round. This man pulls off a trick in the first 30 seconds that gets him so many points, he sat down and did nothing for the remaining minute and a half, and he still beat the second place person by more than 5 times their point total. This man, Casey
is a god at Tony Hawk. God.
Yes.
Please watch their streams.
The VOD is
God.
there. You can watch them sitting down for a minute and a half and just chatting with chat.
People remember when you were there. They go, oh yeah, and last time you played online, Sean said you made people cry online or something like that. Because I would just do a bunch of tricks. I'm like, I'm going to sit this one out. I just sit on my skateboard and just kind of roll around looking at, the Twitch chat and stuff, and I see people skating around me trying to rack up points, and I'm just like, that's it for me. I'm like, all right, I'll go easy on them. Yeah, and I'm just looking at their, go through the chat, go easy on them, and they're just like, what the? And people just after the round is done, and they all come up to me as I'm still on my board, and they're just like if they could do this, they would. They're jumping on me like angrily ollieing on me, like what the hell, man.
Angry Ollie.
But yeah, that's just like a comfort game for me, and I'd love to be in a Tony Hawk game.
It's a comfort game for you.
It's a comfort game.
You're like, this dinner of mine doesn't taste good. Casey's
What,
eating dinner.
like
He's like,
it's
wait,
hard?
it's missing something. It needs some more salt. Hold on, let me hop on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
That's why, like, I played it so much. I don't know what it is about that game, but something about it, I just click with it and played the living crap out of it. So like, it's just a game of like, I'm feeling like crap, I could always play it. It's always a good time, good feel kind of game. I stream it a lot. It's good fun. But you know, other games too, like Fallout or Elder Scrolls and Red Dead Redemption. Like I got to be in Red Dead Redemption 1, and that was one of the coolest things of my life because I love that game so much. And I feel like there's just not going to be another game like the first one. The second one's very cool, but it's so much different. But like Elder Scrolls 2, Skyrim and Oblivion, I played.
Dude, yeah, I got to be on Elder Scrolls Online, and that
yeah, me too.
like as a non-insignificant character, and it blew my mind because I got to
Yeah,
I
I
never
got
get
to
to
do
use
a
an
bunch of
accent.
characters that were actually like named. Yeah, and that's I think the reason I got booked that is because they needed a very specific accent from Skyrim. So that's why I was in the Skyrim update for ESO, and I sent in the audition.
We played Skyrim so much, and it's just we know what these characters
and
will sound
honestly,
like.
I put way too many hours into it, and I knew how to do all these different accents and stuff like that. And
if you have koi.
if you have coin. Yeah, exactly, and like stuff like that. And the people who are making the game are there at your session, and they're kind of sitting in, and they chat with you a little bit about it. So you play Elder Scrolls, and I'm like, oh yeah, and they're just like, oh, okay, cool, because not many of the voice actors that come in play these games. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure they do. They just haven't told you, or that you know haven't been afraid to tell you. And they're just like, they thought it was the coolest thing that like you, me, and a couple others had gone in and said like, yeah, we love Elder Scrolls. We play the crap out of it. And they'd ask like, what's your favorite kind of character? And like, what kind of character would you want to voice? So it's kind of cute because they want to have
they asked me that
back
too.
eventually. Yeah, and they're like, we want to have you back, and we want to have you voice a character that is like your favorite kind of character that you make. And I'm like, oh, that'd be the coolest thing.
Me in the booth being asked that. Kajik.
My ancestors
It's so dope.
violently imperial.
Can you say the same?
Can you say the same?
I want to be the one of the sewer rats that you have to kill early on in the game, but I want them to give me like a little pink ribbon.
That one's voiced by Sean Chiplock.
Oh,
Beep boop.
beep boop.
Keep up. You hiccuped. Do it again. Say
Are you
again.
okay? What died?
Oh,
What happened?
Oh no, you
I don't know.
There you go.
went beep boop for a second.
Oh no, I'm in Casey's body, and Casey is in Jonah's body, and Jonah. Wow, I'm so
Wait,
handsome.
it's not Friday. It's Saturday.
Oh, Freaky Friday reference. How many people get that?
Wow.
I'm like, where the hell did Ben go? Oh my god.
There we go.
Jonah's
I'm over
like,
here
I
now.
have an uncomfortable confession to make. I'm not actually using an avatar. It's just a full moon out right now. That's my secret.
Woo.
Fair,
Oh.
fair.
Where did he go?
Ben?
Jonah, this is a non-profit convention. They can't
I think
afford
he-
the
I think he-
fines.
Ben? Okay, who finds? Ben left. He.
No, he's here.
Oh, okay. It was.
Good grief! I got kicked right the hell out. Jesus.
Well, you're back
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
What the heck?
Whew. I found my mark though. I'm ready for mocap.
Yeah, we're
There it
I
is.
found the mark.
Are you on the volume,
Oh
Ben?
boy.
we're at about 2 hours though. Was there anything else?
I have a good
hit
final
us
one,
with some
unless
stuff.
you have one.
Hit us with stuff while we're here.
Do you want me to do the last one, or do you got it? Because I got a good closing one. If you want me to go for it.
You know what?
I think we
I
can
do
tackle
have.
two
I got a good one. I got a good one.
Go for it.
All right, what
So
is it?
this one's definitely a bit more on the emotional side. A question for all: how does it feel to know that your voices have touched so many people's hearts?
Okay.
May I?
Sean?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
So another Legend of Zelda, like on the obvious side, you know, there's all these people that say, you know, I always, you know, say thanks Sean when Rivali shows up. You know, they talk about how, you know, a certain entertaining game got them through a really rough time. I remember having my first moment of like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm working with this colleague. You know, you were talking earlier about Liam O'Brien. You know,
Yeah,
I
right.
remember all the times that I would open the door to a booth and like Todd Habercorn would walk out. I'd be like, and you know, I think about how there are people that look up to us and like want to become voice actors. You know, the same way that we had that one moment where we saw a voice actor performing and we're like, I want to do that. You know, I want to become that. And it seemed surreal at the time. It seemed insurmountable, and yet here we are, you know, helping provide the next generation. And just the idea that there are people today looking at us, looking at this panel going, I want to, you know, I want to perform. I want to be like that in 10, 20 years from now could be doing exactly what we're doing now. It's the circle of furs. You know, it just feels really good. But also, if I can share a personal moment. So I believe that in Breath of the Wild, the Great Deku Tree, that's the first time that the Great Deku Tree has ever had an English voice, or even a voice in the first place. I still vividly remember going to Toys R Us while my parents shopped around when Ocarina of Time was on the demo displays at Toys R Us, and only getting to play just long enough from the beginning of the game that you run up and you meet the Great Deku Tree, and like somewhere around trying to collect the stuff so that I could actually go into the dungeon, you know, we'd have to leave, so I never got that far. So it's just the idea of like realizing that I am the person that has provided the first official voice for a character that I first saw when I wasn't even in double digits of age. It is, I can't even put it into words. It is unbelievable. I still can't believe that that's the case. So I'm really, really glad that I can like provide that same sort of wow factor to people watching that are just like, I'm so glad that I'm alive in this day and age to get to like witness these characters, to get to be a part of this experience, to be inspired by this. Yeah, dude, you're a Pokemon. You grew up watching them on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Like God of High School. I grew up listening to the voice of Ash Ketchum every single day, and now we're co-leads on an anime. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it didn't hit me until I had to do the, like, who's that Pokemon? And I was like, Scorbunny! And it wasn't until I did that part, I was like, holy crap! I did the thing! That's gonna be on TV! That's like when it hit me like a truck. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, going on too about emotional stuff, wow. You know, I'm a person who has a lot of anxiety and depression and goes through a lot of crap, just like a lot of you guys might too. And doing a show like Neon Genesis Evangelion, voicing Shinji, that was a really rough thing for me at times. And I think it kind of shows in the performance, and people will, you know, hit me up on Twitter or whatever. I just heard you in this, and I watch all of Ava and End of Ava and stuff. And, you know, and I just want to say that, you know, I can kind of relate to Shinji, and I can relate to your performance, and like it just felt so real, and it's kind of what I'm going through with a lot of things in my life. And I just want to say thank you, because it helped me kind of get through this or feel like I wasn't alone in it or something like that. And there's always these messages I'm never really prepared for, because I'm just scrolling being a freaking idiot nerd going, oh, what skate news is there today, whatever. And then I get something hit where it's just like, oh my god, that's really heartfelt, and I'm like, oh,
Jonah,
oh
I'm sure
tearing up.
you, Jonah, as a streamer, I'm sure that you've had moments where like there are people who came into your stream and said, Jonah, I was able to make it through the pandemic because of your streams, of like, you know, whether it was just hearing you in the background or like having you talk about how you were dealing with it, and knowing that, you know, you were also having your own problems that you had to focus on didn't make me feel like I was suffering alone. So
yeah, a lot of that is very strange as a streamer, because for those of you that do stream, a lot of it is you just trying to be yourself and hanging out, and just trying to play games with your friends, and sometimes you'll have events and content that planned and stuff like that. But specifically for my streams, I'm just, you know, doing what I would normally do, and
it's like
having
that
people
meme,
come in and say,
Go ahead.
having people come in and say like, you are like one of the best distractions I have after school, or something like that. I had that when I was in high school.
Yeah,
and comfort characters, and Legoshi is my comfort character. My comfort character was Ratchet. I loved Ratchet. James Arnold Taylor is amazing. I would play Ratchet and Clank over and over and over and over again, and I had a Ratchet plush, and like I feel that. So when people come and say that, it's just like, I understand what you're saying, and the whole anxiety and depression thing with Legoshi. Legoshi was me in high school, like was me in like freshman year of college.
You murdered a classmate?
Well, I mean,
what?
That's not here nor there.
Who's dead?
No, wrong
She
character.
doesn't murder anybody. Wrong character. But yeah, there was a lot of, I guess, emotional imprint on Legoshi, and there are some moments, if you do watch the dub, there are some moments where I just poured myself into it. I just went for it, and there was moments where I cried. There were moments where I screamed until I was hoarse, and half of that was like, this is my first anime role, and you cannot screw this up, otherwise you're screwed. And half of it was, I want to act, and I want to channel stage acting, and like make this raw and real and emotional. But I mean, I went on a tangent there. So Sean, you had something to say?
No, it's fine. I was just like, you're like the living version of the meme where people are like, "Thank you, have literally saved my life," and you're going, "I am just playing video games."
I am playing video games. I offer you my life.
I guess I'll end it with something funny. For me, so like I tend to whenever I'm in the recording booth, I tend to try to get inside of the character's head and just be whoever that character is. But there are times, admittedly, where I'm just kind of phoning it in, and I hate to admit it, but I'm just like I'm just kind of like saying the words, and the director goes, "Yeah, that's fine," and then I find out later on from some fan like, that role as like, Soldier G, it changed my life, and I'm like, thanks. You're great.
A little awkward. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hooray. Yeah.
Work so
So it's that kind of thing.
Practice my lines every day.
That's always. That's usually my experience. And meanwhile, when I put my heart and soul into something, that's the thing people go, "Oh yeah, I remember you. That you were that guy from the thing, whatever." And so I have the exact polar opposite.
That's rough, buddy.
All right.
Sucks.
All right,
I feel like that
sign
was
us
a good question.
Let's go,
Yeah.
Furry. Give us the ultimate.
All right.
Final round.
The final.
Mini Moth.
The final question. What are some of your socials? Anything that you want to promote? Where can they find you outside of this convention?
Please don't look for me. I do not want to be perceived.
Do not perceive me.
No, I'm the same. I'm the same anywhere. On Twitch, I'm Sonic Mega. On Twitter, I'm Sonic Mega. On OnlyFans, I'm Sonic Mega. You can find me the same username everywhere. It doesn't matter.
OnlyFans, you say?
Yeah. You're the only one. Only one person allowed. It's you.
What are your socials, Casey?
it's an only one fans.
Yeah.
OnlyFan.
My Twitter is at. My Twitter is at Casey the VA. I know it's the VA. Yeah, Casey the VA, and my Twitch is twitch.tv/Casey Mongillo. You can see it up there.
I'd point if I could. I'll just look adoringly.
Yeah. Just look lovingly at my name, and that's basically. I mean, I have a TikTok and an Instagram. If you care about that stuff, it's still Casey the VA, but I don't really use that stuff as much. But yeah.
I have a Twitter. I am at I'm Mr. Transistor on Twitter. I am Jonah Scoot on Twitch. I stream almost full time whenever I am not recording something in a booth. I am playing Apex Legends or Overwatch or a new stupid Steam game that was worth 50 cents that I'm gonna see how bad it is. That kind of stuff. That kind of content. I also have a YouTube. Just type in Jonah Scott on YouTube and that should pop right up. We prime produce content like for once a week, maybe twice a week if we're feeling frisky. But yeah, we do a lot of fun stuff with the community, a lot of highlights. We have really popular video of mine is me reading thirst tweets at my characters. So thirst tweets of Legoshi and Sniper Mask and characters that a lot of people find sexy. Way cooler than I am, by the way. But yeah.
We know everything that you guys have been thirsting over. You're not free.
He actually pre-records them. He's already set for the next 3.5 years. He just uploads every so often.
Oh, and come by my booth in the dealer's den. We have some new merch that is just going to debut here, by the way.
Cool.
I want to buy things
Very
from your
nice.
booth in VR chat.
Do it. You can do that.
Can I just
Hopefully
click it and go
link,
like
but
it is purchased?
hopefully soon, maybe we'll fix that, right? We'll fix that. We'll
Yay!
get that working. Yeah.
Come on, technology, get on.
You can find me at I'm on Instagram. Don't follow me on Instagram, but if you want
Are
to,
you really?
it's Ben Diskin. Don't waste your time following me on Instagram. I never use it.
Oh, well, now I
You can
have
follow
to.
me on Twitter. I'm at Benjamin Diskin. That's pretty much the only social thing I really use anymore these days. So yeah, that's easy. All right.
I have a fake Instagram because someone made it to impersonate me and didn't give me the password, and then they lost it. So now it's just out
Oh,
That's annoying. Ugh.
there. Woo! Well, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys
Thank
for coming.
y'all.
Yeah. Woohoo!
So,
And-
as
go ahead.
as our closing remarks, for a short bit, we are going to jump to an instance or two or three and say hello to a couple of fans. So if you're in one of the instances, don't move. We'll come to you.
Yeah.
And thank you all for coming out to see the panel, and thank you all for taking time out of your weekend to come and play with us.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thanks
Our
for having
pleasure.
us. It's
Thank
super
you.
fun.
Yeah.
It's different. It's fun. Woo!
Yeah.
Baba booey.
Baba
Bye.
Booey.
Trans rights. Trans rights.
Trans rights.
Trans
Gay
rights.
rights.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Yes, it is Pride Month.
Yay, Pride!